How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the stream. I'm Rogan, and I'm here with Benoit.
Hey, guys.
How are you doing, man?
Yeah, all right.
Good to be here?
Yeah, good to be back.
Great to have you.
Yeah.
Great to have
Cheers.
you. Before we get started with the stream, hopefully everything's running fine. Hopefully the audio's okay. Let us know in the chat. If you see anything weird, we'll try and fix it up. But hopefully I don't sound like a robot. Last stream, we kind of had like the audio doubled up. I sounded a bit like
It was all right.
It was pretty cool. It felt pretty cool. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. We're live on Twitch, and finally we got YouTube figured out. Hello to our YouTube family. Thanks for hanging out. We had a couple technical difficulties last two streams, I think it was, but we're live on YouTube. It's a great feeling, honestly. Also, at the end of the stream, we're going to be announcing this week's What If winners, so stay tuned for that. If you sent us a meme, the theme was culture this week, and if you don't know what the What If contest is, it's a meme sharing contest. So you can go to whatif.humankind.game and you can make your own meme. We announce a new theme every week, and we're actually going to announce a new theme today. You can win some awesome prizes if you share your meme using the hashtag WhatIfHumankind, including humankind itself. So what more reason to share a meme? Also, we have Steph over on the ones and twos over there. We're playing a little bit of the first scenario, not quite at the second one just yet, but it's coming, people. It's coming. So we're going to use this as a little bit of a reference for what we're talking about today. But also, if you have any questions for Benoit here, he's historian extraordinaire. So get your questions in. He'll try and answer them, and it'll be fun. So the first half of the stream, we'll be doing a couple questions that I have for him, and then the second half, we'll move on to the chat questions. And finally, OpenDev Scenario 2 officially starts tomorrow. All right, so if you didn't get in to the first scenario, don't worry, we're letting more people in tomorrow, so you can try that out. And if you get in tomorrow, you weren't in on the first one, you can play the first one still. So it's easy peasy, it's great. So look out for that, look out on your email for that, keep refreshing, check the junk mail, you know the drill. Anyway, so back to it. Benoit, welcome. Yeah. It's good to be in the office, huh?
Yeah, first time in 5 months.
It's been crazy, man.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been crazy. 5 months for you?
Since the lockdown, so yeah, I guess 5 months.
And you like to be back? It's nice to actually get out of the
it's cool to see people.
I know, man.
it's
We recently started.
It's a nice feeling.
Yeah, we recently started coming back, and it's quite nice. Don't worry, everybody. We're doing the social distance thing. We measured it out, and we made sure it's all good.
We are always cleaning our hands.
Exactly.
Very important.
There you go. We're wearing masks. We're slathering up. It's all good. And yeah, so we're finally back. So Benoit, can you tell us a little bit about like what you do at Amplitude and what your role is on Humankind?
Yep. Well, as Rogan said, I'm the historian. I've been working here for about 2 years. On Humankind, and I've been helping the teams, like the developers, the artists, and almost everybody involved on the Humankind project on the historical side. So I'm trying to help them to be as most accurate as possible, and sometimes we are making, of course, some compromises.
Yeah. But
still, it's an historical game, so we are trying to be as authentic as possible.
That's awesome.
So that's part of my job.
Cool. You said you've been here for 2 years?
A little bit more, because at the beginning I wasn't fully involved in the project, but I've been fully employed for a year and a half now.
Yeah. Now it's like really ramping up.
Yeah.
So
no, it's more than being fully employed.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So can you talk a little bit like what did you do before working at Amplitude?
Well, before I was working on TV documentaries, so I've been working on maybe 40 documentaries, the French documentaries, of course.
Damn.
For a few years, straight after my PhD. So
wow.
it was really cool. And to be honest, I didn't expect to work one day in the video game industry, but it was a nice transition.
So it wasn't always the plan to like get into video games?
No,
it was
definitely not. I used to be a huge player of 4X, like the first Civilization on Amiga, and then I've been playing all the Total Wars and all the Paradox games.
Nice.
But it was just a hobby, I guess.
Yeah.
And at some point I met some friends who was in the video game industry at the Paris Games Week, and a conversation, I met Romain from Amplitude, and they were looking for some historians, so it was totally unexpected.
Look at that. It's all about who you know.
So,
right?
As you can see, history can lead to everything.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the first scenario. So the first scenario is a lot about getting started, but one of the really interesting things is you play as the Babylonians.
Yep.
So can you talk a little bit about the Babylonians? They're scientific.
The orientation. First, there was those questions on the different forums. Why do we call them the Babylonians and not the Neo-Babylonians and stuff like this? Because as many of you can maybe know, there is a lot of dynasties like Babylonians. The city of Babylon did exist from the 3,000th century.
Okay.
Do we say 3,000th century?
Yeah. 3,000.
3,000th century BC. It was just a small town, and then it began to grow, and there was a lot of dynasties, a lot of cultures who just took the city and made it a capital. And we call them just Babylonian and not Neo-Babylonian or Ancient Babylonian because talking about neo-ancient or whatever, you wouldn't feel right. I mean, you are playing them right now, so why do you call them ancient?
Right.
Yeah, so they are in the present. I mean, so it's just the Babylonians, and also because we thought, people who they would exactly know what we were talking about.
Yeah.
And why their scientific orientation? Well, first because of balance between all the cultures, so we had to make a choice. And also because they were renowned for their astronomical knowledge, mainly. We have a lot of clay tablets, for example, belonging to the Neo-Babylonian dynasty, which are talking about like some kind of algorithm trying to calculate the course of the sun, like the course of the sun, and all this stuff. So it's really, really impressive, and they know a lot also about mathematics. And so for us, it was cool.
Super cool. Yeah. Well, also going back to like the different types of Babylonians, especially with 10 cultures per era, it's hard to separate them into those sort of subcategories.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. Some people, I think, are not happy with the kind of blob effect. But I definitely understand the producers and developers because you cannot pick two... how can I say? Sorry for my English. Too precise things because you want to encompass a wide variety of the cultural features of this precise culture.
Yeah, definitely. And like I think we've done a pretty good job of selecting some going beyond the Babylonians, some cultures that are a little less known and some that are like more renowned, right? So I think we're trying to find that balance, yeah?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there is so many variables for this balance, and we always try to have some culture that people are expecting, like casual players, not very historical players. We are also trying to teach new things. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure a lot of people knew about the Arapans, for example, or even the Zhou as a dynasty. Mm-hmm. So we are trying to give new things and new approaches.
Super awesome. So going back to the Babylonians, there's there's actually a lot that goes into each culture, a lot of work from you, right? So
Yeah, not only from me, because we other historians did participate to the process, and I've been
Right.
asking a lot of different experts, because I'm no expert in all the field of history. It doesn't exist.
every single thing.
No,
that's
it doesn't exist. I'm not an encyclopedia, but yeah, I've been looking for the right expert to help us,
Yeah.
like building the game and building all those small historical bricks.
Yeah, definitely. So there are a couple different parts for each culture. Let's talk about the Babylonian city center.
Yeah.
What did you call it?
I don't know how to pronounce it, so
Okay.
I would be glad to
I have it here.
know how to do it. So I think it might be the Etemenanki.
That sounds good to me.
But
honestly.
the other historian, Etienne, would be better to pronounce it really way better than me.
Oh, he has the
Yeah,
pronunciation
he's
down.
the Eastern specialist,
Nice.
Near East and Eastern specialist.
Yeah. So that's the city center.
Yeah, that's the
oh,
city center, and yeah, as some of you may have noticed, we don't have only the emblematic building which represent the culture. We also have city centers, and this one in particular was maybe what some of the people in the Bible called the Tower of Babel. Some historians are thinking that this particular ziggurat was maybe the Tower of Babel. So we thought it was
that's
good,
awesome.
good to have it, and it was also easy to have sources to know how it was, because that's the trickiest part. It's sometimes to rebuild cities or buildings that we didn't exactly know how they were.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. See, that's why it's awesome to have a historian on staff.
So, yeah,
just
yeah.
dropping the facts. Let's move on to the unit, the temple levy. Yes.
yeah, the temple levy, the Shabu Shakashti.
Yes. So why the Shabu
Shakashti. Yeah, I
Yes.
think it's again, I'm not expert in
Yeah.
all those languages. So why? Because it was it was because of the sources. We don't know a lot about Babylonian military units, but this one, in fact, it seems they were the base of the army. The Shabukash, the temple was at the base of the army recruitment. So every family farming on the land of the temple had to give one man per family to be used as a soldier when it was necessary, or to help the temple, like for the corvée. How do you say? Like, I don't know.
What's the French word?
Corvée.
Corvée?
Corvée, yes.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at speaking French.
Do you mean levies? When you raise people for...
When you raise people for the military duties, levies, but
Yeah.
the corvée, it's when you are helping somebody to do all the chores. I mean
Not too sure what the word is for it.
I'm not sure like helping
Actually, I
washing
I think the English just stole the French word.
Oh, okay.
Because I've seen corvée system in English as well.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
So
There
cool.
you go.
Mighty French words.
Yeah. Awesome.
The English just steal all the words.
Yes, exactly. And then for the emblematic quarter, we got the astronomy house.
Yeah, the astronomy house. As some of you may have noticed, the model is based on the Blue Gate of Ishtar. So it's not actually an astronomy house, but we knew, the people knew that there was some observatories and astronomy houses, but we don't know exactly how they look like. Maybe they were ziggurats as well, but we didn't want another ziggurat, because you can also have as a wonder the hanging garden of Babylon. So we didn't want to have too many ziggurats, because there is also some other pyramids in the game. So we decided to go with the Ishtar Gate as a reference, because of the blue.
Yeah, it's cool.
The blue in game is associated to science as well. And Ishtar is seen as the queen of heaven, so it also makes sense. It was like an historian Easter egg.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. When we say that the Babylonians were like really sort of the first to study astronomy, how like in depth?
No, they weren't the first, but
No?
they are the first. We have so much sources, so much clay tablets talking about astronomy.
Right.
But the Sumerian and all those, and definitely even, I think all the people were trying to understand what was going on in the sky. So
Yeah. Wow.
everybody was practicing astronomy in their own way and according to their own beliefs.
Yeah. So, final question about the Babylonians, and the most important one: why are there mammoths?
The famous mammoth of Babylons. No, in fact, it's definitely to for the player to have like not easy combats, not easy
right.
fights.
Yeah.
Because obviously there was no mammoth here around Babylon, but still the last mammoth remains we have are maybe dating back from the 2000 BC in the north of Siberia in the Wrangel Island, if I remember well. So in game it would make sense to have mammoths even after the Ice Age, because you can find some somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Well, okay, so I'm gonna move on to just give a couple just like sneak peeks of Scenario 2, because we don't want to spoil it too much for you guys. But Scenario 2, it's all about battles, right? So there's the scenario, and then there's sort of 4 sort of bite-sized scenarios with it, and they're all sort of loosely based off of battles.
Yeah,
of
actual
history.
battles.
Yeah.
First, I think William talked about it before. Sorry. Those battles, the units in battles, are not all accurate because we are using the units, the common units of the game. So of course you will find some inaccuracies, but it's for the good of the game. So the battles we choose, the first one is the Battle of Kadesh. So maybe the biggest chariot battle of all time.
Yeah.
If you are talking about ancient chariots. It was the Egyptians led by Ramses the Ramses II against the Hittites. We don't really know much about this battle because we just have the version of the Egyptians, and it's just glorifying the victory of Ramses.
Yeah.
But in fact, it was probably a draw,
Right.
and in some way Hittite victory. But it was a good way to have a chariot battle.
Yeah. So you play as the Hittites in this
definitely.
one. Okay. Nice. And then the second one is the, correct me if I'm wrong, Battle of Plataea?
Plataea.
Plataea.
Well, I'm not English, so I think it's Plataea. In French, it's Platé.
Okay. Fine.
The last big battle of the Persian invasion in Greece. So it was in 475, I think, BC.
Okay.
This time you were playing as the Persian, if I remember well. So normally the Persian, lose. But this time,
fair enough.
This
time you'll get them. You'll get them.
Yeah, make them conquer the Greece lands.
Yeah, exactly.
The Greeks lands.
Third one, Siege of Paris.
Siege of Paris, the last Siege of Paris, because there is some before. So it's the one of 885. My favorite one. I've been working on this in a documentary, so I know it quite well.
Nice.
This one normally is of the Scandinavians, the one we call the Vikings, where didn't expect to besiege Paris. They just wanted to go to plunder Burgundy, but they asked Paris to allow them to grant free passage. Paris didn't. The city of Paris didn't want, so they besieged the city.
What, they were just being stubborn, or you
Paris,
guys can't come in?
Yeah. I think they didn't. They didn't really. See what was coming, because the siege lasted almost 2 years until the emperor of the Franks came and just paid the Vikings to leave the city.
Yeah, okay. Just put a bag of money in front of them and
Exactly.
say, okay, bye. All right. And then the final one, the Battle of the Imjin River.
Yeah, Imjin River. So it was during the invasion of Korea by the Japanese, starting in 1592. Yeah,
Okay.
the Imjin War. This one is maybe not the most important of the war, but it was it is best known. It is maybe the best known in the Western countries because of creative assembly, because of Shogun II Total War.
Okay.
There is a scenario with the Imjin battle, and it was also fun to have.
Yeah, awesome. You play as the Edo Japanese.
Yeah.
Which is also a really cool culture, one of my favorites from that era.
Well, this time you play as the Japanese. We didn't call them the Edo Japanese because the Edo era came after.
Right.
So after the Battle of Sekigahara in 16,000.
There you go. All right.
16th
so,
century.
Yeah, you guys can look forward to that tomorrow. Watch out for the email. We won't give a lot more away unless you guys have some questions about it in chat. We'll see if we can answer them. But I don't know. Shall we move on to some questions from chat? All right, we'll bring them up. Again, we will send out some emails tomorrow. So look out for that. If you weren't a part of OpenDev last week, you may get another chance. And if you don't get in this time, no worries. We'll have another wave of people coming in. So there you go.
If you want, I can start with some questions we had on the forums before, because I know some of them. I've been reading.
Yes, we can definitely start with some questions we had on the forum before, and then for chat.
Yeah.
I just want chat to be aware. There are some questions I picked up earlier while they were talking, so we will be running a bit behind on your questions and not answer immediately as you post them, because we have the previous questions to answer first.
Cool.
We can do as you want. I don't mind. No,
it's fine if we run a bit behind, because honestly the questions keep doubling up anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Of course.
Well, I have a couple here that I saw. We can start with those if that's cool.
Of course.
So a couple questions. Actually, most of these come from the culture cards. Benoit and I have been working together on the culture cards that you guys have been seeing on social media. So we see your questions. First one, why Edo Japanese and not just Edo?
The famous one. First, we with the writers, we are trying to keep this rule to just have one word for the culture. So we are trying to have the Ming, the Babylonians, so trying to keep the one word rule. But this one, we had many issues. The first one is Edo is a cultural era. It's not people. The people are still the Japanese. But as we are trying as much as possible to have names that will allow us in DLC or even for further eras, or even the mothers, to have other culture in the same region, like to have different Japanese, to have different Chinese cultures. We came with the Edo Japanese, so the Japanese of the Edo era. And also there is, maybe it's less well known, there is people in Africa which is already called Edo. So it wouldn't make sense to call just Edo, and it would be inappropriate.
Right. So to avoid confusion.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
be more specific. All right. Another one, why aren't the Byzantines aesthetes?
Well, for this,
Love it.
well, no, I think every culture can have all the affinities, to be honest, because it's just how you see it, how you discovered it, because a lot of you, I guess, like me, have discovered some of those many cultures playing games or seeing just videos or just reading books, but you won't have in all those medias, you won't have access to the wide variety and to all the knowledge about this culture.
Mm-hmm.
So for the Byzantines, they would definitely could have been aesthetes, warmonger, or militarist, expansionist. It depends first when you place yourself in the chronology, because the Byzantine Empire lasts more than 1,000 years. And here, because I've been working a lot on the Byzantines during my studies and on the trade networks, to be honest, for me it was so obvious that we could make them traders.
Right.
It was, for me it's so obvious because Constantinople was the center of all the networks in Europe, in the coming from the Black Sea, coming from the Far East, Near East, Africa. At the beginning, when Antiochus and Jerusalem were still belonging to the Byzantines, a lot of goods were coming to the city. Even straight after the 1000 AC, the Venetian and some of the Italian city-states were looking on the possessions of the Byzantine state, just because all those places in the Mediterranean Sea were just linked to all kind of networks, trade networks, I mean. So, traders.
There you go.
It felt good for me.
Felt good.
But as I said, you are totally right saying they could be aesthetes, they could be militarists, expansionists.
Yeah.
And it's also another thing, it's also about balance between the affinities, but that, it's you have to talk about it with the developers and the game designers, because I'm not concerned.
Right. Yeah.
With
because there's a lot of just like you said, a lot of cultures in the game that there is an argument for them to be multiple different things. I think there was the same thing with the Franks as well. And
and even yesterday with the Ming,
right.
some of the people were expecting them to be builders, and they are totally right because of the Forbidden City, because of the Great Wall. But also the Ming period was really famous for all those artistical features flourishing all across the country. In theaters, in drama, in poems.
They love drinking tea.
Even drinking tea became a kind of art and was codified.
Yeah.
So again, it also makes sense.
Yeah. And then last question before we move on to some chat questions. Why haven't we included like sub-eras, like eras between, say, like the classical and the medieval?
For this, I think I will answer for the producers, because it would add a lot of content, and it's a lot of work, in fact, just one culture, because there is so many things you don't see, but there is events, not events, but you are trying to, it's like a puzzle, you are trying to link all together. Yeah. And also working on all these illustrations, on the designing of the buildings, designing the costumes for the avatar. All those things takes a lot of time and energy, and having 60 cultures I think it's a lot. I was pretty impressed at the very beginning when I came first in the studio, and they told me about the project. I was more used to less, to be honest, with other games. And so 60 cultures and also minors, independent people, so minor cultures you will have in game. I think it's pretty decent, and of course there will be DLCs and a lot of things coming next.
Yeah, definitely. And you see a lot. I've seen a couple people mention like, oh, this culture was present in the later medieval era, and this one was earlier. And so you are right. It is kind of like a puzzle because it's hard for us to detail that sort of detail. Like
true. And for the ancient era, for classical era, medieval era, we are talking of many centuries. Like it's So of course we could divide it, and I'm pretty sure the modders will do, and I will enjoy playing.
There you go.
Those mods, but
yeah,
it's always hard.
Sweet. All right, we'll move on to some chat questions here. All right. People who were invited to the first scenario, are they automatically enrolled to play other scenarios? Yup. Simple one. Yeah, you can play. So if you're let in during the first scenario, the third scenario period, you'll be able to play the other two scenarios as well. Likewise with this one tomorrow, you'll be able to play the first one, no problem. Do you have a particular theme or aim when choosing civs for eras?
First, I'm not choosing the civs. It's part of a process, and there is a lot of people involved. I'm just trying to help people choosing, or telling them that we don't have a lot of resources, a lot of sources to do that or that, or we don't have enough references for the costumes and or the names, or how did they call themselves, or for the city names, for example. It's also a tricky question. So I think there is a lot of things involved in the culture choice. As I said, there is all the balance. There is also trying to have culture that can be involved in those kind of scenarios we have in the open dev, so we can recreate some battles and stuff like that, or people can recreate with their own fantasies battles. There is also, we are trying also to have a wide variety of geographical representations. We are trying to answer les attentes, the expectation of the casual players and of the historical players. We are also there is so many things.
We're doing everything.
It's always tricky and long discussions, and it has been really long discussions.
Definitely. How do you decide on emblematic names? When do you use the culture's word, and when do you go for like an English word or another language?
Well, I guess the writers will answer better than me for this one, because as far as I know, I will use the word balance a lot, I'm sorry, but it's also a balance between the players' expectations, the popular culture, what people will understand quickly or not, what people already know or not, what the player will automatically understand watching also the illustration. So we are trying to think about that when we are picking some names. I definitely think that having some ancient and original names it's important for immersive purposes. I think it's really immersive. But sometimes we don't have access to ancient languages or to the way they were describing themselves. For example, the Ghanaians, we didn't know how they were calling their emblematic quarter, like the market. So we kept with the market, with the luxuries market.
Right.
And for the Aztecs, for the Jaguar warriors, people know the Jaguar warriors well. So we thought that calling them the Otselome, the original name in Nahuatl, was maybe tricky and people won't understand quickly.
Right.
So
yeah. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
Yeah,
There's no like real like
exactly,
rule that we're following.
Yeah, exactly. There is, I think, the writers have in mind some rules.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just trying to help them.
Yeah, definitely. And what you're seeing in the culture cards, I mean, I think a couple things have changed already. Like I know when we were first working on the Babylonians, it was the temple levy, and then we changed it to the Sabushakashti.
Yeah.
So things change. They might be a little different than what you see in the culture cards when release comes, but
some retakes can happen as well.
Yeah.
But to be fair, we are really looking at all the comments, and it helps us to sometimes to readjust.
Yeah.
Well, what we are doing for the names, for example.
Definitely.
So keep commenting. It's as long as it's respectful. It's always nice to have some feedbacks.
It really is. Yeah, definitely. What's your main area or like period of expertise, and which parts of the world and periods have you relied on most on the help of some of the other historians?
Wait, for which one?
The first one there.
Okay, me, I'm more an expert of the medieval Far East and Eastern regions, like for example ancient Russia, but also the Norsemen, the Vikings or Scandinavians, as you can choose the name you prefer.
Yeah.
But I've been working on a lot of different topics, so I really can help for the costumes.
Yeah.
And I've been relying a lot. We have been relying because, as I said, we were many. We have been relying a lot on linguists. So for some of the names. For the Mesoamerican culture, for also some of the African culture.
Okay.
And I cannot say too much because I will
I will
reveal some of
you're gonna leak
so
leak information.
I don't want to.
All right, we'll go on to the next one. Are we already enrolled for other scenarios if we were invited for the first one? Yes, you definitely are.
I actually don't double that one.
Oh, that's okay. There is a controversy about the Ming unique unit rocket cart in the Korean community. Many say the design is Korean, not Chinese, but it's a sensitive part of China's history. Distortion in Korea?
I'm not sure.
Yes, the rocket cart has been subject to a bit of criticism.
I'm just not sure I'm understanding the last part of the sentence.
But is a sensitive part of China's history distortion in Korea? Yeah, I'm not too sure I understand that.
Well,
just answer the first part.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
part.
definitely, because I'm sorry, I'm not fluent at all, so I'm just trying to understand. For the Ming unique unit, the rocket cart, in fact, we don't exactly know when and where the first rocket cart appears. Was it in Korea? Was it in China? But we know that there is a lot of Ming treaties talking about all those rocket carts, so we thought it was also a good way to show people that the Hwacha, so the Korean Hwacha, was not the only one rocket cart, because it was mainly popularized by, I think, Civilization 6, and also because there is a few videos on YouTube where people are trying with shooting at balloons, where they are trying to use some watches.
Okay.
But still, those rocket cars did exist in China as well. As far as I'm understanding the last part of the question, for the design of the rocket cart, I think because there is so many different rocket carts in the 3Ds, the artist teams just made a mix of different models. That's also why we didn't have a precise name for this rocket cart, because there is so many different that did exist. So, but I'm not sure I'm really answering the question.
Cool. So, will there be neutral civs or barbarians to fight along with wildlife?
Well, I think it's more a question for the designers. I don't really like the barbarian part, because what is a barbarian? Barbarian is just another, the one you consider as a barbarian. So I'm not. Definitely think there is not barbarian as you understand in this question, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Let me chime in. Speaking of barbarian in the term that Civ uses, as in the units unconnected to a big empire that attack you because they're aggressive. Yes, there are aggressive independent people, but we don't consider them barbarians. They're independent people. They have their own city. They are named after historical cultures.
Yeah.
But some of them are aggressive and others not so much. So short answer to that question is basically yes.
Yes, and you can even consider any intruders into your empire as barbarians. So
there you go. Favorite culture in history? What's your favorite? Doesn't have to be in humankind.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because I think all of them are really interesting. All the one I've been really into are all equally interesting. So I don't like to put a value on the culture, to be honest.
Do you have a favorite culture to play in Humankind?
Yeah, in Humankind.
Without revealing.
Yeah, of course, without revealing. Just for the culture, for the art, I like to play the Carthaginians. Just for the art, the art is really beautiful. But
wow, another Carthage.
Yeah, nice. Carthage is. I definitely like this one. I like to play as the Nubians. I think.
Nubians, mine too.
I like their gameplay. I definitely think I've been playing a lot as the Byzantines.
Okay, nice.
That's totally not because they get the Varangian Guard, is it?
No.
Are in-game events based on real history and linked to the culture you are playing?
I'm not sure we have been talking a lot about the event system, so I'm not sure I'm entitled to talk a lot.
We've been talking a bit more about it when we talked about the civics and ideologies.
Yeah. But I can tell you that they are all based on history, of course, on historical events, but we are trying to make them playable by all cultures. So the reference is always an ancient event, but we have reworked them a little bit so it can fit with every scenario.
Cool. So I think that's pretty much it for the chat questions.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, because we got a lot of gameplay questions that, of course, we can't answer. The only gameplay questions I put in there were the ones that I know the answers to. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Do you have anything, any other things you want to address? We see everything that's going on in social media and forums.
No, I don't think so. I think we've been through a lot.
Yeah, we have. It's been an adventure.
Yeah, of course, keep asking questions. We will be glad to answer it even later.
Yeah.
But
definitely. So for the culture cards, yeah, exactly what Benoit said. Keep giving us your comments, what you think about them, good, bad, whatever, because we're always looking at them and we're always looking to sort of revise where we can. We just want to be as sort of accurate where we can as possible.
Yeah, and just you have to remember that we have to resume centuries in just 20 words.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So.
That's so hard to do, really. So of course it's not the only thing we know about this particular culture, but we are just trying sometimes to tell people things they might not know, or just to have a cool fun fact.
Yeah.
But of course, 20 words to talk about. So talk about cultures like the Ming, about even the Franks.
Yeah.
It's always hard.
Definitely is.
Yeah, and of course, it's also important to keep in mind that we're aiming for like authentic pieces, because we can never be fully accurate. Because if you think about it, accuracy goes out the window the moment you start the game, because you're not playing on the Earth map.
Of course, and,
yes,
because you will do something different, and because there is some music, because there is so many elements.
It's a game.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a game. It's not a simulation. There is a wide difference between a simulation
100%.
and a game.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it. We'll move on to the what if winners, if you will.
Yes.
You ready to go,
We're ready,
Steph? All right. So for originality, by the way, the theme this week was culture. So for originality, folk medicine, kind of like a play on medicine, I think. But great job. Originality. For adherence to theme, we got Teo Guzdon 2. I think that's how you say it. But great job, man. Dev Crush. We got the one the devs crushed on was it was Paul Elvery. So congratulations, man. And our grand winner for today is Prince of Wale 13. I think I got that right. So congratulations, everybody. I'll be in touch with you tomorrow at some point, and we can work out your prizes. But good job, everybody. Today we're also going to announce next week's theme, just because we can. So next week's theme is social. So there you are. Get to Memeing. Again, you can win some awesome prizes. You can win the entire Endless Collection, which is a pretty sweet prize, and you can win Humankind. If you're the grand winner, you win Humankind for you and a friend. So you can call up your buddies, be like, "Yo, I got a game for you," and there you are. Awesome. That's great. Tomorrow, the scenario 2 goes live, what we've been talking so much about. So we will be streaming that like we did last week for scenario 1. We'll be streaming that tomorrow. So just playing the game. I think we'll try and play maybe about an hour of it. We can maybe get through a couple of them, but we don't want to spoil too much for you guys. So we'll leave a little bit open at the end there, but you can look forward to that. Again, I've said it a couple times, but keep checking your email tomorrow. The emails, we will send them tomorrow afternoon. They can take a little while to get into your inbox. So like if you don't get it right at, I think it's 4 o'clock or something like that, don't worry, just keep refreshing, hang out, eat some snacks or something, and chill. And if you don't get in this time around, again, next week we'll be opening it up to a couple more people. Benoit, thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it's nice to talk about the game as well, because I don't have a lot of occasion.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And I'm not allowed to talk about the game too much.
Exactly.
Outside of the studio, so yeah, it's cool.
Well, you've been working on it for like 2 years.
Yeah,
now
exactly.
Finally, we're starting to get the ball rolling, so it's going to be.
I can just unleash the Kraken and just talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
What was that joke I saw on Twitter a while ago? There are few joys as pure as a game developer whose NDA just lifted.
Wow, very true,
Yeah.
very true. Awesome. Okay, guys, we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. We're going to be on YouTube again, so look out for that. But if you're looking for some gameplay of Scenario 2, we'll be there. We'll be live. So look out for that. Thanks, everyone. See you later.
See ya.